Hi guys, welcome to week 4 of your puppy class. I hope everyone is enjoying their puppies and having success with training. I know there was a couple of videos posted and some questions posted to the group, which I love. It's great. I'm appreciating that people are doing the work and still structuring life for their puppies and sharing with me. And I hope any feedback that I provided was helpful. Again, I'm here for you, whatever you need. All right, so I want to talk about attention, so eye contact from our puppies. The last video I talked about how we want to increase the criteria of how quickly our puppies look to us, and that's done based on how we offer our food treats. Offer your yes and food treats only to the fastest responses to the puppy's name call. Any other responses, whether they're too distracted, it took you 2 or 3 times, or they're sniffing or looking around or what have you, don't food reward those responses. You can still praise them, let the puppy know you're happy that they showed up, that they did give you attention, but you would like it better if they looked more quickly, and you do that based on how you offer food rewards. So continue working on that criteria moving forward in your eye contact attention training with your puppies. What I want to talk about this week is I just like to talk a bit about, again, typically in a group class, all the puppies coming in, usually what I say is for people to get into the habit of when they come into class, to let their puppies maybe say a quick hello to their friends, keep the on-leash greetings or play sessions fairly brief, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a moment, but let them say hi to their friends and then take them back to your seat, or in real life, take them away from whatever the distraction is after they've had an opportunity to connect with that. Take them away. Do the calming, be still exercise. I still don't have a good video for you with Riggs with that, but I promise you I'll get one. I have tons of opportunity, but just not always someone to video me in that moment. But I will get to that to give you just a better demonstration of that. But again, be still really fixes everything, almost everything. So let your puppy connect with, again, with the room, if you were coming into a group training class, or the environment, and then haul them back to you, encourage them to connect, do that calming, that be still, watch for your calming signals like your lip lick. As long as your puppy's not moving around or fighting you, you can release your pressure and step back. Encourage them to come back and connect with you. Work on your attention like that in new locations, in areas where your puppy's extra distracted. Bring them a bit away from that distraction, connect with them, calm them, encourage them to be more thoughtful, then ask them to come give you eye contact and reward them for whatever eye contact they give you. So that's, again, in areas of distraction. I tend to do that in all my dogs, no matter what. Even my seasoned dog Josie, if we go to a trial or a demo or something that I'm doing with her out of my home or somewhere where she's maybe a bit more excited or perhaps distracted, I always take a moment, whether it's getting out of her crate, getting out of our van, I take a moment and I collect her. And for us, what that looks like now, she's sitting on the other side of the door waiting to come in, but for us, what that looks like now is me simply just kind of holding her collar or holding her leash close to her collar. I usually do just a little bit of light touch. I don't even have to do all this rubbing business. Not in a dog that understands this. I do a little bit of touch, give it maybe a calm, sort of neutral tone. Good girl, ready? Let's go. Something like that, and away we go. So I still do that. It's routine, it's habit. My dog gets it, I get it. It allows us to stay connected right out of the gate a bit more, and it teaches your dog that habit, the habit of in new environments, in areas where I'm over distracted or overstimulated, I can look to my handler and they'll give me clear direction. Yeah, so that should be just a good habit to get into as a normal routine with your puppy as much as you can. All right, so last week I didn't have time. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter, so hopefully it's only one part. Last week I did not have time to do the sit-stay exercise, so I'm going to show you that with Riggs right now. I'm going to bring him in. Wait, Come on, Riggs. Here, buddy. Hello. All right, So again, this demonstration is usually much more, I don't know, dramatic or exciting when I do it with a class dog that maybe doesn't know the exercise. Riggs obviously knows the exercise, though I have a feeling stepping back with him in the steps might cause some confusion, so it may be interesting nonetheless. So I set my video up a little different this week, so hopefully you guys can see your demos a little better. Here, I was going to do it outside, but it's windy enough that I thought it might be too noisy, so here we are. All right, so here, flat for me, just wait. What I encourage you with your stays is to take one step at a time. So there's a couple criteria that you want to think about with your stay. Duration and distance are really all we want to think about in the beginning. We don't want to add too many layers or levels of distraction yet. So we just want to build on distance and duration. Trust me when I say if you want to build a nice consistent stay, duration is the first hurdle you should try to get under your belt. So don't move too far away from your puppy when you're teaching the stay. I think this is the biggest mistake people make, as my dog gets up and moves, but I wasn't really working it. I think this is the biggest mistake people make is we set our wee young dogs or puppies up on a sit and we walk way too far away from them expecting them to stay. Or we don't reward the stay enough and we release them from the stay and reward them when they get to us. So that's a recall, which is totally different. For stay, you want to reward the stay. And you want to start very simple. The stay is a simple exercise, but it is a confidence exercise for dogs, and they really need to understand what it is you're looking for. Oftentimes, too, if you have a really keen puppy, they maybe think they need to try doing different tricks or going into different positions to get those treats in your hand. Instead, we just need them to hold position. And teaching them to just hold position is actually a little bit harder than you think. So stay really close to your puppies. Feed them for holding stay. That's where they should get the majority of their food, if not all of it. And correct them when they move. And it doesn't have to be harsh, nor should it be harsh, but a little no reward marker, a little the moment that they move or they think about moving, and putting them back into position. In the beginning, I actually hold right onto the puppy's collar, all right? Again, with Riggs, I think he'll hold position, but again, going back steps for him might be confusing as well. Sit. So I encourage people to stay close, stay right with your puppy, sit. I have my puppy on leash and I have my hand in his collar. I'm gonna tell him to stay, and I'm gonna put a few food treats out in front of him, just arm's length away. Yes. As long as he holds position, he gets the reward. Stay. Yes. See how I'm repositioning his head and kind of bringing him back up here? Stay. Sometimes when they get, yes, stay. Sometimes when they get too fixated on the pile of food here or the fact that it's coming from the floor to them, their tendency might be to go DOWN to the ground. So I want to reorient. Yes. Stay. His head kind of more in that sitting position. My treats are gone. Okay. So I release my dog. I only did maybe 4 or 5, 3 or 4 treats. Don't put 12 out there, just a few. So your goal is probably to do maybe a 15, 20 second stay, give or take, depending on your puppy. Some puppies you might not even be able to do that. Maybe it's just 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe it's just one treat and release. Honestly, I can't remember where I started with him, if it was easy or hard to do stay. There were lots of things that were hard that stood out, so maybe the stay wasn't that hard. But again, I'll just do another little quick demo. Sit. Stay. Pile on the floor and let him see it. Yes. Stay. Yes. Stay. Yes. Okay, good job. All right, so that's your stay. I do encourage you to start it that way, even if you just, even if maybe you've progressed a little further with your stay, but aren't having consistency, maybe your puppy's moving, you're not able to get very far away, or they're not holding the position for very long before they move to a lie down or get up and walk away. Flat back. I encourage you to go back to that very first step. It is by far my favorite puppy stay exercise, and pretty sure all of my dogs have learned their very, beginning of their foundation stay like that. And I've got some pretty solid stays, and I like a solid stay. I like my dogs to know what they're supposed to do. So I try not to skip too many steps, especially in the beginning. As your dogs become seasoned, as they begin to understand, maybe to think for themselves and how training works a little bit, sometimes you can skip some steps later on, but the foundation is the most important. You don't want to spread things too thin there. So spend some time reminding your puppy about the foundation of stay. Stay close, just like I did with Riggs. Hold their collar, pile of food in front, deliver one at a time. Do not release your puppy out to that pile of food. That is going to undo all the work you did about making that position of sit stay meaningful to them. They're going to get a jackpot out here. So that's the other reason why we stay close. If your puppy moves, which I didn't get to demo with my pup, if your puppy moves out of that stay position, even though you're right there, you're holding the collar, if they get up, they lie down, if they move around, take the pile of food away. That is the consequence. Option for reward is gone. So that's why you stay fairly close in the beginning. You've got the puppy in one hand, the food is within arm's reach. So if they move, I don't even tend to, I'll give them a few seconds and see. They might even reposition themselves back into the sit when you take that food away. If they don't, you can show them again. Do not treat them for resitting, and then set up and start again with the delivery food treats. I probably didn't do it fast enough with Riggs because, again, he does know this a bit, or he knows how to stay. But you may want to very quickly deliver those food treats in the beginning to make that very quickly and easily rewarding for your puppy, to hold that position. All right, so the next thing I'm going to cover, this is the hardest exercise. It's the hardest exercise I teach. It's often the hardest exercise for people to kind of grasp because there's some mechanics from the handler point of view. There's a dog to think about, a leash, treats, all kinds of stuff. Come here, buddy. So this is the one I'm kind of, aside from the Be Still that I like to watch in person, this is the one that I feel people might struggle with the most without my direct supervision on how to do it. So I struggle with how to help you if you are struggling with it, but I really, really, really encourage videos. Don't be shy. If you're really shy, inbox me the video, but please don't be shy because, again, normally we'd be training all in a group, and my advice to you might help somebody else too. So feel free to share. And yeah, so this is heel position. It is the foundation for teaching a dog to heel, which in a normal class I might do a little demo with one of my dogs on heel, but I'm not going to do that because I don't have the space really. But I'm going to show you with Riggs, and his isn't perfect, but it's pretty good. Heel position is about having your dog come and sit nicely by your side. I think, Jocelyn, I think you kind of did it a little bit with your, in your video of Fenway, but yeah, I'm going to show everyone how to do that, and it's a really good foundation for heel work, for nice loose leash walking. It goes hand in hand with teaching your nice walking, teaching attention at your side, and all that. So we simply want to bring our dogs from front or from anywhere out here to our side. It looks just like that. And I did that all with, initially I did it with a food lure, which I'll show you with him in a second. But all that just kind of movement of my body language or my body directed him where I wanted him to go. Okay, buddy. So in the beginning when we start, if we want our dogs on our left side, which most often that's where we work our dogs, I encourage you to have your food in your right hand. In your left hand, so that you're not reaching over with your right, but your food is nice and close to your dog in your left hand. Your leash is in your right. You're going to take a nice big step back, turn your dog slightly into you, Yes, my dog automatically sits because that is what they're supposed to do. But, oh, and struggles with food. Get it, buddy, it's under your foot. No, no. Usually with a brand new dog or a puppy that I'm teaching this with, I don't worry about the sit the first few times. I just worry about getting them to my side and treating them. And then I will work on the sit after I get that first part done. I'll show you kind of how that looks. I'll try to do it this way. You might be able to see the repetitions a bit better. I'll see if I can be fast enough to do it without my rigs sitting in position. So I try to keep it really smooth. Step back. Yes, feed. Okay, the first few times I don't worry about the sit, which my dog already did. Step back, turn your dog into you. Yes. Then I just pivot in front to create my repetition. Step back, encourage my dog to follow along with my leg. Yes, good boy. So when you start incorporating the sit into this position, usually just bringing that food sort of up and back will suffice. You can use a verbal cue as well if you like. Try to be very fluid and very smooth with this, with the movement of your food, with the movement of your body. Yes. Oops. I don't want my puppy's feet up like that. Yes. Good boy. So once it's moving smoothly like that, you can start using a verbal command to go along with that. I use heel. I'm old school, old fashioned, and I just never ever change. Some people have some different cues that they use for that. They've evolved over the years. I kind of stay the same. I like to keep it simple. Rigs heel. So once your dog starts moving, yes, is when you start saying the heel cue. Wait until this is smooth, you guys. Honestly, okay, bud. There's no real rush on getting your verbals out there. Make sure your technique is smooth and your dog understands it, and you're not frustrated, he's not frustrated before you start adding your verbal. And again, when you do that, it's just as the dog begins to move. Rigs heel. Yes. Good boy. Oh, no, good puppy. Okay. So that's your heel position. Again, please, 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 please send me videos of that. It does tend to be the hardest exercise. There's a lot to think about. Leashes, treats, dogs. Lots can go wrong in that, I guess. So, yeah, don't be shy. Send me a video. All right. So your downs. This is what's also going to be hard, is demoing how to fade the lure for your down. Good boy, bud. He doesn't even know we're down, but he was probably just going to lay down anyway. So the demo won't be any good because my dog knows how to do it, but I'll try to explain it out to you. So with our down, and if your puppy's not quite ready for it, it's fine. It can take a few weeks. It definitely took, come here, buddy. It definitely took, well, probably 2 or 3 sessions with Riggs to get him to lie down without a lot of help from me. So what we want to do, what we've been doing for the first, at least since my last video, if not before that, you guys, sit, bud. We've been getting them into down, probably like this. Down. Yes. Good boy. Come here, buddy. Come on. Good job. I forgot I used the word flat for my dog. Sit. This is what happens. Teach. Flat. Yes. Okay, so that's what you've been probably doing for your down behaviors. Okay, bud. So what we want to do now, okay, bud, you can move. Boy. What we want to do now is we want to try to get away from always having to show them. The way to do that, we're going to give our verbal cue and we're going to wait. If our puppy does go into position within a reasonable amount of time, 10-15 seconds, mark and reward. If they do not, but they stay connected with you, you can continue to wait them out a little bit, but you don't want to wait for 30 seconds for them to lie down. You don't want it to be that delayed. But again, I usually wait probably 10 or 15 seconds. If my dog does not go down, I will lure them, preferably without food in my hand. So I will say my verbal cue again, down, and I will remind them the position I want them to go, but I'm not going to give food treats every time I do that. We want the predictability of food being delivered by luring to be changed, okay? So we don't want the dogs to think that every time our hand comes out, every time they just sit there, we're gonna come and follow through and treat them anyway. That's not how it works. That's how it works in the beginning when we're teaching it. But as we're raising our criteria and asking more of our dogs, we want them to do more of the work, okay? So we reward the entry level position for so long, then we ask more of them. And again, based on how we offer our food treats, tells them what we like best. So if we start removing those predictable food treats when we lure, it's going to give them something to think about. Lack of a reinforcement is information to dogs, and high rate of reinforcement is also information to dogs. So if they're getting a higher rate of reinforcement when they do it on their own versus when we have to help them, it won't be long before the scale is tipped and they are doing it on their own more often. So give your verbal cue. If they go down, yes, reward. If they don't, give it a little bit of time before you jump in to lure them. Just wait. People are really quick to want to jump in and show the dog. Let the dog do some thinking, okay? Let them be still in their mind and kind of process this a bit. If you have to help them with luring, do it without food in your hand, ideally. There are some dogs that will still need a food lure, but we still don't want to give it, dole it out to them each time we use it. We can use it as a bribe, use it as a lure to get them in position, but they're not going to get that food treat every single time we have to help. The other thing that I will do, again, my dog will lie down when I ask, so it's kind of pointless, but the other thing I'll do with my phantom dog here that doesn't know how to lie down, if I say down to them, let's say that maybe I've lured them a couple of times and not offered a food treat, I may also incorporate a disconnect from me as a handler as information that that's not what I'm looking for. So pretend my puppy is sitting in front of me. I say down, they do nothing. Oh, too bad. I might just step off and turn my back away for a second. And then I'll come back and ask them to try again. That is also information. And I actually use that a ton with my dogs. Lots. Rather than luring without food, I do a bit more of a disconnect, let's set up and try again. So I incorporate both of those methods when I'm trying to fade the luring that I'm doing for down. Yeah, so I'd love to see a video of your downs as well. See how you're coming. You can practice this a little bit first and then send me a video of what you've got for a practice down with feeding your lure. Okay. 23. I don't know, I might be a little faster this week. So I do have a different attention exercise to share with you guys this week. Again, I opened the class talking about how to encourage your dog to keep connected with you when you come into group training, if we ever get to do that again, or go somewhere new or distracted. This exercise, this next one I'm going to show you, is a different attention exercise. It does not involve calling the dog's name. Instead, it involves actually staying quiet. And it helps to teach your dog about impulse control. Dogs lack impulse control. They want what they want when they want it, and they want it now. And if they don't get it now, they're going to bark at you, jump on you, paw at you, whine, tantrum, whatever. Grab a toy, shake it at you. They're going to bug you if you don't give them what they want. So, here, Eggs, come back. Come. My puppy's less sleepy than the last video. We didn't hike as long today. She's a little bit more present and not just falling asleep in the corner. So this one, again, I'm going to show it to you with a trained dog. He understands this. I don't know. Hopefully you can get a perspective on where he's looking. So the idea with this is you're going to show the dog something that they want. I do start this with food. And then you hold it away from your body. Yes. When the dog looks to your eyes, rather than staring at the prize, which is the food treats, they get a mark, which is your yes or your clicker, and a reward. Yes. So my puppy does it right away. Didn't start off that way. Trust me, it did not. Took some work for sure, and he's much better at it now. Yes. Okay, so for him, I actually do typically require, sorry bud, yeah, there you go. I typically require that he hold eye contact for a few seconds. I'm not for this demo, but usually he has to. Once I have success with one hand, I will quickly switch to the other hand. That makes things different. Good boy. I didn't use my yes word because he was already staring at me. Yes, good boy. So he's really good at that. Okay, bud. Okay, Papa. What's a good boy? Oh my God, pepperoni. He's good at that, but trust me, he was not good at it at all in the beginning. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And it took me a while to get him, because I rushed my training a little bit with it. And I started working on duration of eye contact with that exercise before I made it clear to him that I like it best when he looked quickly. And then I struggled for a short time with him taking a while to actually make eye contact with me. So I had to back up and follow my own advice instead of rushing through it, train my foundation a little bit better. So now he's spot on with it. He's great. He looks quickly, and he usually will stay connected for a few seconds, which is perfect for a very busy little 8-month-old puppy. So yeah, that's really all I have for you guys this week for exercises. I did want, usually I would have you work on your mat target in class, which I would have demoed the very first week that we were together with puppies. So what I will talk about with that, I'll try to do a little demo with Riggs. I want to talk about how to raise the criteria. So initially with the mat target, what I suggested is that you just teach your puppies to have fun to go on the mat. I didn't care if they sat, lie down, anything like that, just as long as they got the idea that they would get food rewards for going to a specific visual mat, dog bed, something like that. So let me grab my dog bed and I'll demo a bit. So again, I'm working with a dog who's already trained more or less how to do this. I don't tend to work it a ton, but he does have a pretty good understanding of it. So the way we want to raise our criteria, the way we want to raise our criteria with our mat is that once the puppy knows that they go to the mat for a cookie, then we raise our criteria. We sort of change things. By withholding reward when they go to the mat, that opens the door for them to offer us some different things, like a lie down, yes, which is what we are looking for long term. Good boy. In the beginning, I will also accept a sit. I'll accept any behavior they decide to do on that mat. Again, foundation's important. Entry level, go to the mat. I don't care if you're sitting, standing, at least 2 or 3 paws. Ideally 4, but at least 2 or 3 paws on the mat. But that is really the most important step. And then it's usually really easy to teach them to lie down on the mat. Okay, bud. Okay, come on. Yeah, go get that one. So I threw a treat just to get him off it. See if he decides that he wants to go back and what he wants to do when he goes there. Oh, try again, buddy. Try again. Try again. Oh. See, I have a great default down with my dog. He'll always lie down as a default. Okay, bud. I want him to target a little bit more though. So I'll make his choice a little bit easier. Riggs, come here, buddy. I'll make his choice easier. Yes. Okay, so I hung out a little closer to the mat, reminded him that's actually where I was looking for him to lie down. Riggs, come. Good job, buddy. Whoops. Yes. You can see though, it's a slippery slope. His front half is on, but his rear end is not. So if I continued to reward that bit of a sloppy performance, then I'd be making it unclear to my dog that I really want his whole body on the mat. So if I could turn back time, I wouldn't have given him that last treat. But here we go forward. I'll see if I can fix that up a bit. Here, bud. Come on, buddy. Thanks. See how slippery that slope is? He actually now only has one leg on that dog bed, so he's not going to get a treat this time. Come on, bud. That's not it. Not quite. It's not quite it. I'm going to try again. Dogs are smart and pushy. But try again. You have to go all the whole way on. Sorry. Sit. Touch. Touch. Good boy. Touch. I'm just making him do a couple other little things. Bud. I need your whole body. Come on. Sit. Stay. Yeah, if I could turn back time, I wouldn't have given him that treat for half on, half off. Okay, ready? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Yes, much better. Good job. So I'm a lot more exuberant. Yes. I also jackpotted him that time, which meant I gave him more than one food reward. That's pretty powerful in training. Jackpot. Yes. So I'll try again a couple more times. Okay, bud, let's go. That's a good puppy. Ah, not it. Come on. I should quit while I'm ahead. Oops, I dropped a treat. I'm human too. Oh boy. Come on. Let's try again, buddy. Let's try that again. No, come on. Yes. Now I will quit while I'm ahead. Clearly I need to work on that though. Good boy. Okay, buddy. Good job. So that's your mat stuff. Come here, bud. Have a sit. That's your mat stuff. It's a handy exercise to have. Again, this little guy, I actually use it a little less than I ever did with the Aussies because he's a little less food driven, so he doesn't bug me as much when I have food or if I'm prepping in the kitchen. He kind of plays with the toys and does his own thing, where the Aussies were always a little bit, and Josie included, were always a little more fixated on what I was doing with food. So I definitely use that one a lot with them. I do use it with him. It's a downstay on a visual target, but yeah, so that's your lesson for this week. I encourage you to send me some videos, some feedback, questions, anything you got. I miss you all very much. I miss teaching live. I miss seeing your puppies grow. I miss that the most. I definitely miss my older dogs too, but I definitely miss seeing the puppies grow. So anyhow, yeah, I will attach homework and handouts as well to your group and look forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks. See ya.